Thursday. Almost anyone that knows much at all about grandparents and great-grandparents know that we think our grandkids and our great-grandkids are something special. So you'll have to forgive me for talking a little bit about our oldest great-granddaughter, Angela. What a young lady. Fourth grader now. But we got news of her birth when we were on the road. Drove hard to get there because this little lady arrived way early. I've forgotten how much she weighed, but she was so tiny that when we got there, you had to scrub, put on gown business. Could only go in with either mom or dad accompanying you, and only one person at a time. And here's this tiny baby laying there with so doggone many wires running around over that scare you half to death, and all these monitors up there on the wall. I was as nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof, scared we would lose that precious little bundle. It was her dad that went in with me, and he's a cool and calm fellow anyway, so it was a good companion. I was particularly in agony as I would watch the instrument, the scale, the screen that showed her respiration. And on that downswing it would stop. And every time it stopped, I was scared to death so he wasn't going to take that next breath and reoxygenate. So finally I said to her dad, "Jason, how do you stand it?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It scares me to death." Well, he said the first night in here, the night she was born, he said, I was pretty nervous, but he said, I got to looking around and there were a lot of people work here and nobody was excited and nobody was over here watching Angela. They were just watching those screens. They evidently have copies over at the desk. He said, I decided that if all those people were here to help little ones, and besides that, he said, I saw some other little ones around that were only half the size of Angela. She must be doing all right. I think she is. Well, she certainly was. She certainly did. And the time went by when she was a preschooler. I'm planting flowers at our little way station in Kansas, and she knows her colors. So, Angela, bring me a red one, bring me a white one, and so on, and she would. So I'd dig in the soil and plant the plant. Turned up a little skinny worm. She wanted to hold it. I said, no, honey, it's too little. You'll hurt it. No, I wouldn't hurt it. Well, you might. Well, pretty quick I turned up a big fat worm. Let her hold it. And I said, but be gentle with it. Worms, earthworms, help the soil. I want them to grow and have more worms here in the soil. And she listened to that for a while about earth, soil, and she said, at our house we have dirt. Oh, honey, that's the same. Dirt, soil, earth, that's this stuff here. It's the same. She thought about it a little while and she said, I will ask my dad if dirt and earth and soil is the same, and he will know the truth. Now, I guess that's being put in place in a hurry as to who's the authority in her life, and how nice to have a daddy that you know knows the truth. Well, some more time went by, and the first thing you know, she's a third grader. And her mama calls. I answer the phone. She says, your great-granddaughter has something to tell you. Angela comes on the phone and says, Grandpa, I made 100 on the state math test. I said, nobody makes 100 on a state test. Yes, I did. And our teacher said if anybody did, they could be teacher for the day, and I'm going to do it. Her mom got back on the phone and said, yeah, she's doing her lesson plans and baking cookies for rewards to the ones that do well. I guess she'll show that teacher how to teach. The next Saturday I called and said, how did it go? Grandpa, she said those kids were awful. Well, I said, honey, I sub-teach, and you were the sub. You weren't the regular teacher. If you're thinking of being a teacher, don't take too seriously the fact that they didn't behave the way you thought they would because you were like a sub. But by golly, the year goes by, and this year she calls again here at the end of the year. Made 100 again on that state math test and did very well, very, very well on the reading test. We're pretty proud of her. Quite a little kid. I think it was about her 5th birthday, maybe 6th, I don't know, somewhere along in there. For her birthday, she wanted a makeover. Geez, I hardly know what a makeover is, and I certainly wouldn't want one. That young lady knew, and she wanted one, and she enjoyed it. Way to go, Angela.